Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm reviewing the Clinique Chubby in the Nude foundation stick. I've been using this now for the past couple of weeks. I've been eyeing this foundation and the other one, which is the one that has a concealer foundation duo, something like that. But when I went to the Clinique counter, I told them what my needs are. I don't need full coverage. I don't need a heavy foundation. I just want something that makes my skin look even, that enhances what I already have. So the lady recommended this foundation. The shade that I have here is 08 Grandest Golden Neutral, and it matches me really well. Now, it's not the first time that I use a foundation stick. I've tried the Maybelline Fit Me foundation in the stick form, which I wasn't a huge fan of, and my most recent, or my last foundation stick that I reviewed was the Bobbi Brown stick foundation that I absolutely love. I have that in the shade 4.5 Warm Natural, just in case you guys are wondering, and this one, Grandest Golden Neutral, matches that one perfectly. This foundation retails for £23. It comes in 10 available shades. It has 6 grams of product, which is 0.21 ounces. I'm not too sure if that is a lot, but because this foundation is so blendable, and it really is, I don't think you will go through this in a very quick time, unless this is the only foundation that you use. If it is, then that's great. You will use it all the way till the end. Very rarely I finish my foundations, but my Bobbi Brown foundation is really running low, and that's how much I like that one, and I see myself using this one just as much. So I'm going to take it all out, and I've been using it for 2 weeks, and this is how much I have left. And if I roll it completely down, it's still pretty much at the top. You only have a little bit of a dent on the foundation. So for 2 weeks, I don't think I used all that much. So I'm going to read the description on the Clinique website. It says portable perfection for full face coverage or bare minimum touch-ups. It's a creamy moisturizing foundation stick, blends in easily, builds from sheer to moderate coverage with a natural finish, and it's also supposed to be long wearing, and it's oil free. If you're new to my channel, I have combination to oily skin, mostly oily now in the summer. I have enlarged pores, and my skin is aging because I'm in my late 30s. So the needs that I have right now, you may not have if you're in your early 20s, but if you have combination to oily skin, more than likely you'll be able to kind of like relate to what I'm going to say throughout the video. Now, when I apply this foundation, I always use a primer, and I use a primer with most of my foundations, and the primer that I've been using is the Boots No. 7 Beautifully Matte Makeup Base, because it really mattifies the skin for the longest. But I also used the One Heck of a Blot primer by Soap & Glory, which is one of my favorite primers. So these two work really well with this foundation. Now, when it comes to application, you guys could see that I was swiping the foundation on my face, and that's how I apply this one. I always apply it the same way. And then I used one of my Sigma brushes, which is the F80 brush, one of the kabuki brushes, but I also use my Real Techniques buffing brush. When that one is dirty, I tend to use this one by Sigma. I find that the foundation blends in very easily. It's perfect for on the go because it's a stick foundation, so I do carry this with me to work if I need to. But till today, I've only retouched my foundation once at the end of the day, because I was going out after work. I wasn't coming home, so that was the only time I actually retouched the foundation. And I am happily saying that this foundation is very easy and buildable throughout the day. So if you're using this to retouch and you don't use concealer and stuff like that, you can actually retouch and use it as a concealer, and it doesn't look cakey at all. It still looks pretty fresh. And I find that it's super blendable. It doesn't drag or anything like that. Even if you want to stipple the foundation onto the skin, you can do it. You don't have to just swirl your brush. You can actually stipple the brush to add more coverage in particular areas. I also find that this foundation is quite buildable. I wouldn't say you could reach full coverage with it, but definitely a good medium coverage. The finish is very natural. It's so similar to my Bobbi Brown stick foundation, but I actually feel that I like this shade and the finish of this foundation a little bit more. I just find that it makes my skin look very even, very natural. My pores look somewhat blurred, and the finish is so natural. It's unbelievable. When I tried this the first time, I was blown away, but I wanted to wear it a little bit longer because I wasn't sure how it was going to perform on my skin. As I mentioned, I have enlarged pores, I have combination to oily skin, and most foundations either just slide around my face or they just sink into the pores, and it doesn't look very nice. I find that this foundation just glides on. It sits very beautifully on the skin, but throughout the day it just looks more like skin. So the more you wear it, the longer you wear it throughout the day, the more skin-like your skin will look, if that makes any sense. I don't think this foundation has SPF, so I'll insert a few pictures with flash and without flash so you guys can see the difference and the finish. But I do think it's a perfect foundation for every day because it just looks so natural. It really looks like skin, and I love it. I've been using it for the past couple of weeks non-stop. I always carry it with me in my bag just in case I'll be going out after work, so I can retouch and make it look a little bit more fresh. It never looks cakey. It's so blendable that it never ever looks cakey. Now, because I have combination to oily skin, I don't find that this foundation controls oil, nor it says that it does. So I have to set it with a powder, and the powder that I use is my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish because it's a very natural, not cakey type of powder. And I do have to blot throughout the day. I have to blot every couple of hours, I would say. After the first 4 hours, I have to blot every couple of hours because I tend to get shiny, quite shiny actually. But the foundation doesn't look like it's separating. It doesn't look like it's melting away, which is really, really surprising because I was expecting that to happen. This is my third foundation from Clinique, and it's the only foundation that I actually really like. I use the I can't remember the name right now, so I'll put it over here. I used it actually for my wedding, and that foundation only lasted me about 6 hours, and I started looking very oily. That was the time that I started using makeup, and I wasn't sure what type of foundation to go for, and I was only using Clinique at that time. Clinique claims that this foundation is supposed to be long wearing, and I do have to say that I was quite surprised that it lasted me the entire day. I apply my foundation around 6:30 in the morning, and I get home around 5:30 to 6 o'clock. So in 12 hours, the only places I feel like my foundation is somewhat fading is in the center, but it's not looking blotchy or anything. It just starts fading slightly, but I still have makeup, but not the, you know, like how I looked in the morning. Over here in the center, it doesn't look like that. But overall, in the other areas of my face, the foundation is pretty much intact. But like I said before, I have to blot, and I may have to retouch with powder around the 2 o'clock mark in the afternoon, and then after that I don't apply anything else. I just may need to continuously blot if that makes any sense. But that is just because I have combination to oily skin. If you have normal skin, I think this foundation will stay the entire 10 to 12 hours on your skin without fading all that much. A product that I also want to mention that I bought together with the foundation was their airbrush concealer, which I am using today. So if you guys are interested in a review and demo on this, please comment below and I'll make sure to do that for you guys. But overall, I really like this foundation. I do hope that Clinique releases a little bit more shades because tan, I don't think it's going to cater for everyone. But if you do find your shade available, I do think that you will really like this foundation. So those are my thoughts and review on this foundation. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye.